I thought we'd be drinking. I thought we'd be drinking to the news of the ceasefire. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ajay Patel Show. My name is Ajay Patel. We are on episode 70, and yes, indeed, just when I thought everything was going wrong, just when I thought, man, you know what, I'm never going to hear the end of it, things turned out to be all right. Is that 3 wars now? Is that 3 conflicts brought to a resolution? Don't get me wrong. It's not everlasting resolutions, right? Things will be wrong in a couple more months, but hey. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, indeed, I am talking about fresh, hot off the presses. By the time you listen to this, you'll probably have already seen 1,000 TikToks about it. You'll probably have already seen a bunch of people getting angry about it, a bunch of people cussing them out in the comments. My problem with America now is nobody wants to have fun. Nobody wants to have fun anymore. Every week I just wake up and I open up TikTok and I see all these people marching on the streets with the Ukraine flag. Then it's the Palestine flag. Then it's the Mexico flag. Now it's the Iran flag. I don't get it. I think we have lost our sense of identity as America. I don't even know how to start unraveling all of this. But let's start with the thing that's fresh, hot off the press, which is this ceasefire news. Now then, I read through a couple articles, ChatGPT'd a couple more, and what basically happened, announced on TruthSocial and via media outlets, that Israel and Iran agreed to a complete and total ceasefire following the 12 days of conflict. He stated it would be phased over 24 hours, beginning several hours from the announcement, with a final official end marking the end of a 12-day war. For a little bit of context, there was an initial airstrike that hit 3 Iranian nuclear sites on June 21st. Yada. So basically over the weekend, we bombed some quote unquote nuclear sites. There was this whole discourse about, whether it was actually a nuclear site or whether they moved it over, or intelligence said that, hey, nothing here really shows that it's a nuclear site. There's all this discourse online about, congressionally, he didn't do the right thing. Look, he didn't do anything illegal. He did exactly what you would do at your corporate job. You don't ask for vacation 3 months in advance. You get to the day and you're like, oh shit, I need to take vacation. And you just start taking it. And then you tell your manager, hey, this is what's happening. And that's exactly how it works in the White House. It doesn't matter how high up you go in the food chain, whether you're working a McDonald's job or you're in the White House. The protocols, procedures are all the same. You do things the last minute, then you tell people proactively. You don't ask for permission. You ask for what? Exactly. It doesn't matter. Now look, a little bit of backstory, right? Iran, Israel, you know what I'm saying? They've been doing their thing. I don't fully agree with it. I don't like it. I don't really like the idea of just continuously bombing a nation, and to the point where, Cat Williams had a great joke about it when we were when we were kind of occupying Iraq and Iran back in the day. Is you're not even killing the army, you're not even killing the soldiers anymore, right? You killing them. You killing the women, the children, the men in flip-flops. You killing everybody. That I'm not a big fan of. And then I saw Iran, Israel popping off against each other. Next thing you know, America gets involved. Now, I'm a pacifist. I want people to understand that I am truly a pacifist. And we'll get to more of that later while we talk about the Bin Laden documentary. But personally, my thoughts were, I would love to stay out of this. As a country, right? Obviously, I'm not the one risking my life. But as a country, I think it'd be great if we could just stay out of all this bullshit happening over there. We have enough problems. We have more than enough problems here. I thought the whole idea of the campaign was America first. I thought the whole idea of the first 4 years and these 4 years was America first. I kind of liked the idea that this dude was an anti-war candidate, an anti-war person. War costs a lot of money. People think it generates a lot of money through the economy. Like we talking about 1800s? We talking about 1800s? Nah, bro, I don't think war would hit the same. I don't think the war would hit the same anymore. All of this stuff happening, next thing you know, we bomb some nuke sites. Now, the scariest part, two things. One was the Israel homeboy, Netanyahu, talking about, yeah, good job, guys. You don't want the guy more evil, or that thinks he's a bigger bully, or the guy that's really doing fucked up shit to be kind of patting you on the back. Because then you're like, oh shit, like, am I as fucked up as this person? And then the second thing was Iran. They didn't say, oh, you know what, our bad. We got carried away for wanting some nukes. I get it. Every other country can have a nuke, but all of a sudden we bomb a couple towers. Everyone gets a little tongue tied, or everyone's sphincters tighten up a little bit when we say we want to have a nuke. Why wouldn't we want to have a nuke? Everyone else got a nuke. Everyone can nuke us, but we can't nuke anyone else. So I get it. We mess up these nuke sites. I don't even know how we got involved. But basically, if you don't know this, then you were probably born before the year 2001. But let me go ahead and give you guys a little information session. We have never fucked with Iran. That is right. We have never fucked with Iran. We have never been like, hey, yo, what up, my man? What's the, like we're some of those people that we see the Instagram post and then we instantly send it to people. We're like, can you believe this bitch said this? Can you believe this bitch said that? Like, look how dumb this bitch looks. Look how stupid this dude looked. Look at his fucking hairstyle. Oh, we thought this dude would die single. How the fuck did he find this girl? You talk shit. That's Iran on your Instagram feed. You talk shit about them. This new generation doesn't understand, and I get it. They're a blank slate. They're not programmed like us. They didn't live through the whatever propaganda, all the news shit that was happening during 9/11. They didn't live through America coming together as one, fighting this terror. They didn't live through that. They're a blank slate. And it's a good thing. It leads to this idea of more of a cohesive world. More of a cohesive community, even like, let's say you're focusing on America. It's a blank slate. You don't have the things that you're preconditioned with like our generation is. Where first of all, we had to fight through the whole stigma of people being gay, people being a different religion. All of these things was the things my generation kind of slowly pushed the thing for. And I'm not going to lie, we didn't commit. I had a bunch of friends that were dating outside of their race. Did any of them commit to them? No, they didn't. They tried to, they wanted to, but they couldn't just get over that hump. They couldn't get over the hump of getting over it with their family. They couldn't get over the hump of getting it over with themselves. We're not the generation for that. This new generation, they're programmed differently. They have a little less of the brainwashing from us. We like to brainwash them in other areas, like mental health and physical health. Oh, this new generation is not going to have any fun. My generation had honey buns, Reese's Puffs, Cookie Crisp, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, peanut butter jellies. I'm talking about Jif and Smuckers. We had the thing that the peanut butter jelly and the jam were all mixed up, the Gobbly, whatever that brand is. That fat ass brand. We had all of that stuff. This new generation, oh, they're not going to have any fun. They're not going to have any fun, bro. Who wants to eat Wheat Thins at lunchtime? What? Who wants to have a salad when you're in the 3rd grade? What? This new generation is not going to have any fun, but they will be more open. They'll be a nicer people in this world. They'll be dating whatever gender, whatever race they want. They'll be a much more unified bunch. Don't get me wrong. I think they're going to be absolutely fucking idiots, but they're going to be a nicer peoples. They will be. And so I get it when this generation, or when I see people protesting like, oh, we don't want, oh, peace to Iran, we're going to wave this flag. I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. But what I agree with more is this idea of not getting involved. America first, right? Where did we go wrong with this? There's so many just dumbasses out here, bro. There's so many dumbasses out here. The other day I was driving back from the post office. Driving down the street, I see a gentleman standing by the light pole. He's holding a sign. No ice in LA. First thing that came over my mind, go the fuck home. Go home, bro. What are you doing? The protests are over, bro. You're not doing anything here. Like at this point, you have too much time on your hands. I should make a call. You have too much time on your hands. Isha and I were walking back from Target yesterday. A homeless dude tweaking out of his mind. Black gentleman, tall, decent shoulders. I'm not going to lie. Turns around. Hey, man, you got $1? What are you going to buy with $1 in California? Like, at least be realistic. You think if I asked that dude, hey, man, look, how do you feel about Iran? You see what I'm saying? Like America first, we went somewhere we just completely changed our compass and ended up in this fucking territory of getting involved with everyone else's business because everyone here just kept looking outward and complaining about all that shit out there. It's wild, ain't it? It's really wild. We live in this weird time. You root for one thing, but if it comes out of this person's mouth, you won't root for it anymore. People just don't want to have fun. You should be expecting, okay, all these people were having these protests to say, okay, we don't want to go to war. We don't want to send our troops there. And now you have this possibility of that kind of happening. And first of all, you don't want to take credit for it, right? You should, first of all, take credit for all your protests. You should take credit. You should be very loud about it. The second thing is you got your wish, right? You got the outcome that you wanted. But there won't be any happiness for it. There won't be any joy. There won't be any positive TikToks about it. It'll just be a bunch of smart asses. It would just be a bunch of smart asses with podcasts like me talking about, see, I told you, bro, he wasn't going to do nothing wrong. And that's what you get. I have a friend that actually lives in the same building as me. Great guy. And he's talking about he has to get deployed in a couple more months. And that's an absolutely wild thought to me. As someone that works behind a laptop, and his biggest fear is missing a deadline that won't affect anything. Right? Like if you send the Excel sheet a day late, nothing's going to happen. Nothing crazy is going to happen. No one's life is on the line, including yours. You work at a place that everyone's like, oh, make sure they change their banner for June because it's Pride Month. Make sure if they don't do that, they're not an ally. Make sure when you go to Target, they have clothes that are all inclusive. It's like, what, bro? What the fuck are you talking about? When it comes down to sometimes the exact simplicity of the world, you have a territory, someone else has a territory. You have to have an army, someone else will have to have an army. Okay, who's going to be in that army? It's not going to be everyone. Especially this new generation. You look at the era of dudes. Look at me. You look like you want me behind the battlefield? In the battlefield? Come on now. I have a friend literally getting deployed, and it makes me seriously think, like, holy shit. I would not want this for a friend, a loved one, a random person, no matter what country they're from, no matter who they're fighting for. In what world would I want you to commit to battle to an issue that is of other people's? Especially when the mission can't even sell itself, especially when the story doesn't sell itself. Oh, I'm going there because they're in a fight with someone else? What? I don't get it anymore. And that's the thing that I hate about this the most, right? I don't want to get involved in some type of fight outside of our country. In addition to, we don't need to be sending troops. We don't need to be sending people that are literally willing to risk their life. People that have come back, started living a decent life. And now you want to do this shit where you send them out again? Like I said, I'm just a pacifist that wants everyone to have fun. But at the same time, we have never, and I do not think we ever will, buck with Iran. Now then, I know there's going to be a lot of rhetoric that comes out around this. A lot of people just annoyed of hearing about the stories. It's so annoying. Why doesn't anyone want to have fun anymore? But If you want to get in the mood of like trying to be on the side of war, if you want to get a little like, ooh, let's go to battle today, you should check out this Netflix documentary. I don't know if it's new or old, because I was talking to my friend Narain, and he said he had watched it a while ago. It is the Osama bin Laden American Manhunt documentary. And so, as someone that was alive for 9/11, but I was in first grade, so I didn't really have a true understanding of what was happening. And then you get to this point of, in your later years, you start seeing more clips. You start understanding, the script behind the script, aka the propaganda, how they get a population of people to believe a certain cause, and then how if you abuse that belief for a little too long, you get the backlash. Now let's start with the whole 9/11 piece. Now, this documentary was pretty good because, one, it just kind of showed you how much of a badass America was. I'm not going to lie. It showed you how much of a badass, while at the same time a little bit silly with like how we weren't able to anticipate this. And it's really fun seeing all the people that legitimately worked on this, right? These are people that were involved with investigating Osama bin Laden. These people were analysts there. I'm over here trying to predict, when are we going to sell out of XYZ? These people are literally trying to predict, hey, when is this person going to bomb XYZ? And so it's so eye-opening of like, this person was literally in a sorority 2 years ago. She comes up to a table and, it's the FBI, CIA, whatever it is. She gives them her the resume. Next thing you know, she's tracking America's biggest terrorist. That's pretty wild to think about, bro. That's pretty wild to think about. Now, you got the whole backstory of bin Laden. Then you actually see the footage of some of the 9/11 shots where the planes are hitting the building or hitting the Pentagon. And it kind of takes you back of just like, holy shit. I know I was in first grade and I didn't understand the breadth of what was happening. You could still feel this electricity in the air. And I do still remember that feeling. I don't remember the feeling of being sad about the tragedy, but I do remember the feeling of, adults murmuring around, people coming a little bit early to pick up their kids, the traffic of the school pickup line being a little bit more hectic than usual. And then there was just this tone of silence from some adults, right? When it came to adult to kid, that, you don't know how to explain that, especially that generation. Boy, they did not know how to explain that. And then you keep going with your day to day, right? You keep going with your day to day. You start learning about it slowly at school. Eventually, a year goes by, you have a commemorative process, and you start understanding a little bit more. 5 years goes by, and then you say, man, are we really still celebrating this? Are we really still, commemorating this? Was it that big of a deal? So seeing it in this documentary, it was just like, damn, bro. It takes me, I've seen a couple documentaries since then, but just seeing it again is like, what? We were living in a time that there was a terrorist group letting us know that they were going to come and kill us. And they were making good on their promises. And what's wild is the country back then, during all of that, was so much more, you would feel unified than an ounce of what you feel today. And it kind of makes sense, right? People unify on a common enemy. We don't have a common enemy anymore, so we end up just fighting internally. So then you have this terrorist attack, and then you have the years of the manhunt. And first of all, I'd like to give some special props to George Bush, man. George Bush, I don't really know much of what he did during his presidency. I know a lot of people weren't, the biggest fans of it. But to deal with that incident, no matter whether he did it correctly or incorrectly based on people's opinions, is a big deal. It's a big deal, and it does deserve a little bit of a nod. You get told while you're reading a book for first graders that the towers get hit, that your country is under the biggest terrorist attack over the last 10 years, decade maybe. It's pretty big to think about. Then you go through the manhunt, and then you come to the Obama years. Now, the Obama years, I'm not gonna lie, Obama was one of my favorite presidents. It's not because I liked his policies or anything to do with that, but it just felt like he was a good human. It just felt like someone you could hang out with. And then you find out this motherfucker was about that action. You find out, oh, you know what? We're going to hunt this dude down. Oh, there's no intel to, and then, okay, sorry, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. They eventually find out that there's some intel. They find a courier that tracks them back to the compound that they believe Bin Laden's staying at, because they're like, damn, this place is kind of swanky. And they have no real intel to kind of tell them that this is for sure the place that Bin Laden's going to be. Next thing you know, they get all these, SEAL Team 6, this team together, and they're all training, running through these exercises over and over again just for this one mission. And they literally had the person that shot Obama on the documentary talking about it. And you put yourself in that person's shoes. You hear about this great terrorist that's been haunting Americans, that has been literally causing destruction, not just in America, but other places in the world. I also wonder, how much of that was he just taking credit for? I really do wonder, was he really moving like that? Imagine that dude's resume. Okay, obviously tragedies. We don't like bombings. We want peace. But, if you were putting a resume together, it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. So you're hunting this guy for all these years. Next thing you know, you're busting in this house, and this dude is standing right in front of you. Pop, pop. The dude's dead. They body his bag up. Bag his body up, collect all the evidence, and then go home. And don't get me wrong, was it a success? Sure. But one of the biggest things that they pointed out was how much resources were spent on this, when it comes to money, when it comes to people's lives. And once again, it's the same thing with this whole Iran stuff. People don't get it. We never have. We never will. Fuck with Iran. Nobody's going to ever want them to have nuclear weapons. Of course, their allies are going to say, man, they just hanging out, bro. They just trying to bake some cakes. You know what I'm saying? It'll never work like that. And, seeing that documentary, honestly, I was just like, damn, bro. It makes you realize these people's jobs literally mean something. And you see it where they're working day, night, weekends. It doesn't matter. Because you're not clocking. You're not trying to reach a milestone, right? Your milestone is killing this dude. It's a good documentary, a great watch. I definitely recommend it to you guys. All that to say, what have I done this past weekend? Not a lot of much. Like I said, just a little bit of walking around, trying to get back into the cooking thing, made some lasagna. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all, I'm getting out of here. And I'll have probably an announcement in the next 2 podcasts about where I'm going. But it is time to leave LA. Now then, my next story is about this robotaxi stuff. Yes, robotaxi. Tesla began a limited self-driving ride service in Austin, Texas, using 2025 Model Y vehicles. The service is invite only and operates from 6 a.m. to midnight via Tesla-made app. Rides cost a flat $420, as announced by Elon Musk. This is something people have been waiting for a while. And I think it's pretty cool. Once again, I understand we're in a country where people don't want to have fun. People just hate billionaires and people in power nowadays. I get it. But this is pretty cool. People give Elon a lot of shit for, being on ketamine, for being dope, for doing the high heat, people give him a lot of shit. But the motherfucker makes a good product. He makes a good product. He was only able to save $20 billion when he said he would save us $200 billion. $20 billion's a lot of money. I've never seen $1 billion, but I feel like it's a lot of money. He makes a good product, bro. And these robo-taxis, they're going to be the move, man. They're going to be the move. These Ubers have gone way too expensive. They've gone way too integrated with your life. Oh, you in the car? Do you want to get some food to meet you at the door? Huh? Oh, hey, yo, this driver's just waiting outside. They actually remember you from last time. Do you want to talk to them early now? Oh, they're calling you. You want to give them your social security number? They could just, go make a deposit at the bank for you. Uber has gotten way too integrated into our lives. And we need to replace that with a new drug. I'm not saying we need the drug out. We need a new drug in. And that's going to be these 420 rides. For $4.20, I can go around Austin. Yes, I'll do it. I trust FSD with my life every day already. I'm down to get in there. 420, that's nothing. 420, you can't even buy shit in California for 420. That homeless dude asked for $1. He needs to be asking for 420. This robotaxi thing is great. Now, Musk had promises back in 2016, but with all the delays, I'm sure it mainly comes with the focus on SpaceX and things that are actually, out of this world experience. But, I once again, bring it back to America. Bring it back home. I want you guys to be fixing the things here. The things here. And this robotaxi thing, man, I think it'll truly, do I think it'll make an impact on Waymo? I do not. I don't. I think Waymo has kind of already gained this level of trust for people. It's become this kind of showpiece because not only are you in this fully autonomous vehicle that has all these, cameras on it, but you're also in a car that's different than a Tesla. And I think that kind of helps a little bit where you're in this new car, you're looking around in the interior and you're like, oh, these Jaguars are kind of nice. These Teslas, you've already been in plenty of them. Is robotaxi going to be a success? Of course. But the only person that I feel like gets a little competition here is Uber. Is Ride Austin still a thing? Are people still getting kidnapped from that? I don't know. But Ubers have already, Ubers have. Oh, there's Cruise. That's the other in-car, the autonomous driving thing. But Ubers have already gone out of hand. I'm very excited for this robotaxi thing. I haven't been to Austin in a decade and a half, but let me know if you've taken one yet. And I think the really cool part about it was, strangely enough, is that he talked about that if you own a Tesla, you could kind of just send your vehicle to go do a night shift. You know what I'm saying? Like you'd be the pimp and the Tesla would be a hoe. And you send it to go make some money during the night, come back smelling like ass, weed, Taco Bell. But next thing you wake up with an extra $200 in your bank account. It might be nice. It might be nice. Oh, I don't have a lot for you guys. Like, don't hang up. Don't end the episode though. I've been feeling really reluctant to kind of record. And I don't know whether that's just like life stuff, me just not wanting to do this. I'm trying to find that North Star. But also sometimes it doesn't matter, right? Just do the work, just see what happens. Get off of TikTok. You're not doing anything else productive. Do the work, see what happens. So that's what I just keep telling myself. And that's what I hope you keep telling yourself. The only last thing I wanted to point out was, ladies, I do have a beef with y'all. I do have a new beef with y'all, that is. When did this whole men making pizza thing become such a ginormous market? I recently started buying dough. I started, fresh dough, rolling it out. I don't make it from scratch. Whole Foods has the dough. You leave it out for a little bit. You knead it. You leave it in a ball 3 hours, 4 hours later. It's nice, plump, boom, boom, boom. It makes a nice little Neapolitan pizza. I've been doing that in the oven at home. But I thought about my brother-in-law. I thought about a handful of friends that have these unis at home, and I thought, damn, it's not the lady that's using them. I just see a bunch of dudes using them. So you mean to tell me when these dudes finally started expressing an interest in cooking, society decided, hey, yeah. Here's this really cool oven outside. I hope you enjoy it. Ooh, look, it's a big flame. Ooh, 900 degrees. Oh, look, you could buy all these tools. You could buy this pizza peel and this other pizza peel that spins the pizza while it's in the fire. Oh, make sure you get the wire rack. Oh, here's this really cool device so you can tell the temperature inside. You want to make sure you're throwing semolina and flour before you put the dough down. And this entire market has been sold to just a bunch of dudes that got kicked out of the kitchen without realizing it. Now, it's my small beef. I get it. I do understand. Dudes are pretty messy in the kitchen. I've seen what I leave behind. But ladies, let the fellas back in the house. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are enjoying the summer as it goes on. Don't forget to subscribe, share with a friend. Watch it again. Watch it again if you have to. Don't forget to have fun. Raise a toast to the ceasefire. I'll see you guys next week. And